Hi, well this is the first of our videos, and so I want you to think about, in the midst of this, about what Jesus said about being salt and light. He said that we should be salt and light within our community, and that by seeing our good works that people would glorify our Father. And I was in a meeting of ministers and church leaders this week who were talking about exactly that as we settle in, we've all gone panicking about how do we do church online, how do we do this, how do we do that, how do we run our community programs, how does all that work? That in the midst of that, or even as we get through that we start to think, how can we be of help to other people? And that's really, as believers, what we're aiming at, is we build a strong base in our lives so that we can actually be a blessing to somebody else. And so coming out of that, I thought it would be good for us to think through some of those issues. One of the mayors of our region was actually in on that meeting, and her, along with our bishops and other church leaders and so on, all denominations, one of the real common themes was the building of community, that it's like an old style neighbourhood type stuff, that however we can build that to make sure we do exactly that. That's what we need to be aiming at. So for us particularly and personally, there's a couple of things that we could think about, and I don't want you to try to solve all the world's problems, but there are a couple of things that I think we could do that could be really helpful. The first one, which I think is a really good idea, is just to think to yourself, are there 2 or 3 people that I could make contact with? Now, there's people who, you might be still going to work, but you might not be, you might be at home, but there might be people that you worked with or that were somehow in the community. I know for me, there's people, I go to regular cafes, the people that are there, the people I've connected with in my community. I don't see them anymore, but I think about them. Are there ways to make connection with those people? And they're just 2 or 3. If you maybe set yourself and say, hey, look, if I could just contact 2 or 3 people, just ask them how they're going, what's happening, building that connection and that community. So particularly thinking about people that you have been in contact with but you've lost contact with in this time. Just think about those people, and as I say, just 2 or 3 to see if you can make that connection again. The second one that I think is interesting is to think about the neighbourhood. Lots of people are out walking dogs, and I've noticed as we do that and as I get out and about that some people are hiding and trying to get through. Other people are much more open to saying hello, smiling, obviously keep the distances and all that sort of stuff. But people are out and about and connecting. And one of our options here is to look at ways of connecting with our neighbourhood. Some people have done Facebook. I don't know whether they've stalked people, but usually they've had previous connections. They've done a Facebook page for their area. Some people have done little leaflets, and again, they do the hand washing and hygiene, all that. But they've done little leaflets that they put in the neighbours' letterboxes around saying, hey, look, if you need a chat, if you want to do an online coffee, virtual lunch, whatever it is, virtual coffee is probably the best way to go. Have a chat, then we're here. If you've got a particular need, let us know. We'd love to help each other. So some way, whatever God puts on your heart, to just in your own neighbourhood, see if there's some connection that you can make. I think those couple of things are just really easy things that we can do to make a difference. Be smiling at people, be encouraging to people. Just think about those 2 or 3 that you might have a connection with. Think about your neighbourhood and what you might be able to do around there to build those sorts of connections. The main thing that's coming out of all of our civic leaders and our church leaders is just to connect and to care. And I think one of the things that we can do as followers of Christ is make sure we're on the front foot with this in caring for people in any way that we can. So God bless you. Have a go. Think about 2 or 3 people that you might make a difference for in their lives. God bless.